Hello and welcome to another episode of BikeRadar Diaries, which is all about what we like to get up to here at BikeRadar. This week, I set myself the challenge of riding 170 kilometres on the cheapest bike I could find from a well-known online marketplace. The bike happened to cost £170. Hope you see what we did there. Now, you may remember this bike from a previous video we did about a year ago where we tried to ride up one of the steepest climbs in our area.
The handlebars are gone!
That was a very fun, albeit tough day out, so I've been looking forward to taking on another proper hard challenge. Why? Well, we get to ride a lot of incredibly high-end bikes here at BikeRadar. Just last week, I was riding a £12,000 ultimate superbike from Fesca. So I thought it was about time to see what the other end of the scale feels like. Obviously, there's going to be some compromises, but I'm really keen to find out what they are and how a £170 bike will hold up on such a long ride. Fortunately, nearly a year after doing the original challenge, BikeRadar videographer Felix, who's behind the camera, give everyone a wave, hello, and me set off on a cold December morning for what would hopefully be an interesting day out. Felix had set the route and it was supposed to have 1,500 metres of climbing over that 170 kilometres. That included a local climb called Cheddar Gorge, which has some stretches of up to 18%. So I was expecting to be absolutely grovelling on the Barracuda because it weighs around 15 kilos. And grovel I did.
It looks really uncomfortable.
Yeah, really comfy. And once you've found out how we got on, I'm going to give you my thoughts on the bike, where it kind of worked and where it really didn't. In what now seems to be typical BikeRadar Diaries fashion, the ride didn't quite go to plan and it ended up being a long day out on the bike. So sit back, grab a cup of tea and see how Felix and I got on. And remember, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and click that little bell icon. So every time we upload a video, you get a notification.
So you've ridden 10k so far, Joe?
10k.
It's not the easiest, is it?
No, average speed?
17k an hour. Uh-oh.
Position's not very aerodynamic. In the wind. Weirdest bit about it has to be the bars with the big long reach. The tyres also feel like they're made out of elephant hide. So they're not supple tubs by any means. We're about an hour in. What have we done?
Wow.
18.9 kilometres. An average 18.5 kilometres an hour. So we're currently looking at about 10 hours probably, aren't we?
How's it going?
Starting to hit the hills now. It's hard. Straight to the bottom gear. You just feel stuck to the ground. There's no like momentum from the bike.
It actually looks genuinely really tough.
But it's not too uncomfortable though, apart from the bars.
I really settling into it then.
Yeah, so feeling a bit more normal now after about 2 hours. First descent, brakes on the best, so we're going to take a time down here I think. Check out the reach on the brakes. Doesn't feel twitchy, just the brakes don't feel good. It feels very stable, very planted, like not too twitchy, but yeah. Woo! Venus is gone. We're at the first refueling stop, but how are those disc brakes for you? You know all you need is rim brakes.
So they're absolutely amazing. Yeah.
There, you flew away on that descent then.
Yeah, I just let go and just...
These bad boys, sorry, I'm trying to be positive, but they're not the best.
It was a bit scary watching you actually.
Yeah. So we've had our first fuel up now. Route plan of Felix is going to take me up Cheddar Gorge, which is a local climb. It's a really steep couple of corners, like 18%, so it's going to be a bit of a knee breaker for me, I think.
Yeah, you might.
And as always, time is slipping away from us on these things, and we're starting to realise that we might not make it home before dark, so we need to kind of press on now.
Yeah, here we go, here we go.
quite a low cadence and there's a lot of wind at the time. It'd probably be if it had like better gearing.
Yeah.
Spin a bit more, it wouldn't feel as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just very old school gearing.
Yeah. Just got a monstrous tailwind at the top of the climb here.
We're going uphill, but it's very easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen to those smooth gears.
I always know when how far Joe's behind me. I can hear him.
About to do the second big descent of the ride down a climb called Wookie Hole. As I already said, the brakes aren't the best. You haven't been able to tell, it's also very windy.
Now we're getting steep.
Oh, the brakes are full.
Oh.
I wouldn't be able to stop now.
So it looks like you just about survived that descent.
Right near the bottom, it was steep enough and we weren't exactly going fast.
Joe can't actually stop if he wanted to.
Yeah, if a car had come, I wasn't stopping. Yeah, I was pulling the brakes as hard as my hands could pull them, and I was still going forward, which was a bit scary.
So we're about 50k in, aren't we?
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have to think about making a little route change, aren't we? Just don't get caught out by the light.
Need to get close to Bristol before it gets dark, and then take it from there.
Cool.
Bye. How are your legs?
Actually, yeah, I'm not feeling that tired at all, really. I guess I'm.
What's your average heart rate, Felix?
It's sort of hovering around the 105.
I haven't got a heart rate monitor on, but I suspect it to be much higher than that. Woo! Just over 70k in. Progress is slow. It's 12 o'clock. I've got maybe 3.5 hours more of light. Morale's still high. I'm still happy.
Yeah, it's fine.
We've got
our food.
Yeah. Bit of last minute route changing. Struggling for time a bit, aren't we? So
Yeah.
my bars, they don't have any of that. I've got a bell. There you go. No wahoo there.
Oh, I think it might be raining. Oh, it's starting to.
Ready to go?
Ready to rock.
Okay, Barracuda.
It's a cool stretch of road here, isn't it? Dead straight.
Yeah, pin straight. A lot of rain recently, so it's a bit flooded. We're actually probably doing 30 kilometres an hour even, which is amazing. We've got the wind behind the backs at the minute. There's big hills ahead, so it's going to get harder.
Oh yeah. Never lasts for too long. So we've done a bit of rerouting, haven't we?
Yeah.
Now we're approaching a rather large climb.
Yeah. This one's called Old Bristol Road. Pretty hard on a good bike, so I think it'll be quite difficult on this bike. My wrist now. Oh.
Keep going.
Sprinting off. Right, you go ahead. Burn some calories. Oh, this is hard. It's so hard with the gearing. Felix flying up into the distance, dancing on the pedals.
Just made it to the top. That was really hard.
Get out of the saddle. And then the hoods feel horrible. Sitting, overgeared. Hey!
So we've had to change things up a little bit. I guess it's more of a time trial now, isn't it? Try and get those kilometres in.
Yeah, so try a few laps of this flat lake, Chew Lake where we live. Hopefully that'll knock up about, hoping around 40k. And then we've got probably another 25 left to get back to Bristol. A few aches and pains started to set in, the position on the bike of me kind of hunched over like that, I'm starting to get a bit sore.
100 kilometres.
100k.
100k.
How long has it taken us?
5 hours of riding. Second lap. Yeah. Bit of tailwind to start with. Joey's somewhere behind me now.
So what's the situation, Felix?
Getting dark, as you can see the sun's just going down.
How many kms have we done?
117. Yeah, it's taken us about 6 hours.
That's not bad to assume we'll have 25 miles left, which is a bit more manageable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's get going then.
Alright, let's crack on.
We need some salt now.
Right.
Now we've stopped riding, I feel really good. Now we've stopped riding, I feel great. I think maybe when we start again, I remember how tired I am.
Final stint now, isn't it?
Yep. Final fuel up. Had some nice crisps. We both had a flat white, a bit of caffeine, and now it's 28 kilometres to go, which hopefully won't take too long.
Oh, oh. Feet getting wet.
How are you?
Yeah.
Knackered?
Yeah. Stifled a yawn earlier, so.
Yeah. It's really good now. It's dark though because the wind's died down a lot, so I feel like we're making better progress. But it's just a bit dark and grim, isn't it?
Yeah,
but I feel like the riding feels a bit smoother now.
Yeah,
we've got like 14 kilometres to go, which is good.
Yeah.
I feel like we both don't feel too horrible now. I felt pretty horrible.
Yeah, morale's much better now.
Yeah.
Coming up for 150 kilometres.
8k left. Felix is turning me home. I've got the big light shining on him. A long day in the saddle. But now we've just got a bit of bike path, haven't we, then back into Bristol. Last few kilometres. We made it. Looking forward to your pizza.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Wee, well done, mate. Well done. Back for Christmas lights. Well done. You held up. You did real good. Good work.
Cheers, Joe. Well done.
Delicious. So, with the ride done, here are some brief stats before I get into what we thought of the bike. We rode just shy of 170 kilometres at around 165 kilometres. I think when you account for the fact that I rode to Felix's house in the morning and forgot to turn my Garmin on, we would have hit that magical 170 kilometre mark. But that wasn't on Strava, so it doesn't exist. The ride took us just over 8 hours and 15 minutes, so a long day out, and we ended up climbing 1,900 metres. So a bit more than the 1,500 metres that Felix promised me, but we'll forgive him for that. At this point, it's really worth stressing that despite having a really long day out, over 8 hours, and finishing with a few aches and pains, I actually had a really fun day out on the bike. So in theory, a really budget-focused bike will be no barrier to you enjoying your cycling. However, there were certain, shall we say, compromises that would mean I'd really struggle to recommend this bike to someone. The first of those is the brakes. I set them up as well as possible, but unfortunately they just did not have the power to safely stop in time. If you're on a descent going fairly fast and anything pulled out in front of you, you would really struggle to stop in time. So there's very few positives to find with the brakes. Same goes for the bars and the hoods. As we already mentioned in the video, the bars with that long reach felt pretty weird, and then with the tiny little hoods on the end of those bars made for quite an uncomfortable experience. However, there were some positives. Despite its clunky appearance, the Shimano Tourney gears I was actually quite impressed with. The shifting was fairly accurate and I only had maybe one funny shift throughout the whole ride. For such a budget focus group set, that's really good. This may be down to the fact that it weighed 15 kilos, but the bike actually felt pretty stable throughout the day. I didn't have any speed wobbles or funny handling issues, so despite it feeling fairly ponderous, I'd say that's a positive. The last thing to talk about is the gearing. As you've already seen on the video, I really struggled on some of the climbs. I never got around to counting how many teeth are on that inner ring, but it looked to be either a 39 or a 42 tooth inner chainring, coupled with what I think is a 25 tooth biggest sprocket on the back, and you're up for a hard time every time the road points upwards. Although, without sounding like a broken record, what do you expect from a 170 pound bicycle? If you've watched up to now, well done, but I have one final thought. Riding bikes like this has made me realise how good bikes are at that 350 to 500 pound mark. We're talking brands like Triban, Brand X and B-Twin. If you can stretch to that kind of price, you are getting a far, far better bike. And remember, that doesn't happen at any other price point. If you compare a £2,000 bike to a £4,000 bike, the differences are much more subtle. So that was my 170 kilometre ride on a £170 bike. I actually bought this bike around a year ago now, so it may see some more action as a pub bike or in a future BikeRadar Diaries episode. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell icon so every time we upload a video, you get a notification. Hiya!